At this juncture, I would like to call on our own brother, Honorable Ugochukwu Agballah. Honorable Ugochukwu will be taking us on a topic. He is our guest speaker, and he will be addressing us on the topic, making our research and development relevant to our industrial development. But before then, I would like for some of you who doesn't know or who do not know who this very handsome gentleman is, let me give you a brief, quick introduction of Honorable Ugochukwu Agballah. Honorable Ugochukwu Agballah is a Nigerian from Udi town of Udi local government area of Enugu State. He is a renowned and established lawyer who started his primary school education at the famous WTC Primary School in Enugu, after which he joined the League of Super Intelligent Students at the prestigious College of Immaculate Conception, CIC Enugu. As one of the super intelligent students that cleared the West Africa Examination Council (WAEC) in those days, he got a straight admission into one of the best universities in Nigeria, University of Benin, to study law, and was called to the Nigerian Barr after graduating from the Nigerian Law School, Lagos. He is a member of the Nigerian Bar Association (NBA). He held several notable positions both locally and internationally, some of which include Commissioner for Works Enugu State from 1999 to 2000, the Commissioner for Commerce Enugu State year 2000, the Chairman Transition to Civil Rule Committee Enugu State 1999, the Special Advisor to the Governor of Enugu State on Youth and Sports 1992 to 1993. The Chairman Enugu State NYSC from 1991 to 1993. The sole administrator Rangers Football College Enugu State from 1991 to 1993. Yeah, it's in the very one. The Chairman Local Organizing Committee FIFA Coca-Cola Youth World Cup for Zone C 1992 to 1993. He is the governorship candidate of All Progressive Grand Alliance APGA during the 2003 Enugu State governorship election, and the governorship candidate of Accord Party during the 2007 Enugu State governorship election. He is the State Publicity Secretary, National Republican Convention from 1991 to 1992, the State Chairman of All Nigerian Congress 1994 to 1996, the Deputy State Chairman, United Nigerian Congress Party 1996 to 1999, the President General, Igbo Improvement Union of Anirundi Igbo, 2003 to date, the State Chairman of All Progressive Congress, Enugu State, 2001 to date. He is a principal partner, Ugochukwu Agballah Legal Practitioners. The Chairman CEO, Medley Consortium Limited, Principal Partner, Medley Consultancy, from 1999 to date. The Chairman and CEO of Petrus Luxury Hotel. The Vice Chairman, West Africa, Godfrey Petrus Oil and Gas. The Chairman, Jared Transport Company. Chairman, Board of Directors, Afro Marine Shipping Line Limited, 2023. The Chairman, Board of Directors, Property Guide International Limited, 2006 today. He is also the publisher and founder, editor of Informal Newspaper, 2000 to 2008. And he authors the bestseller novel, Sacred Calf and Where the Rain Started Beating Us. Ladies and gentlemen, please let us welcome this exceptional human being, this quiet He said that you got a doctor. I wanted to call you a doctor. You are welcome, sir.
Thank you very much, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I want to recognize the presence of my distinguished members. the Minister for STI, our DG, representatives of the members of the National Assembly. DGs here present, I can see DG of the NPTI. And let me align myself to the existing counterparts. And the Honorable Commissioner, Science and Tech from the State. Thank you for coming. Thank you for your brilliant and most incisive comments. First of all, I'm not reading a prepared speech. I will speak from my heart. Because PRODA holds a very emotional, a very sensitive part in the heart of people from the East. Because there was a time we faced existential threats. There was a time we were in utter hopelessness and despair. And due to the activities of the progenitors of PRODA, we were able to survive as a people. Some of you may not know the history of PRODA. Some of you here may not know the history of PRODA. PRODA is as a result of the military wing called Research and Production Department. After every war, every initiative of the defeated part, of the defeated party, is always destroyed. But what came out of Biafra's wrath was astounding. It was a wonder to the entire world. Because the rap that was the predecessor of PRODA produced military armaments. That were a wonder. At that time, they could deploy unmanned devices up to 50 miles. They developed a lot of equipment, even in the food sector. So in 1971, when PRODA was formed by ethics of the East Central States, it was obvious what his mandate was. His mandate was to change the narrative in Africa. His mandate was to make Nigeria the industrial wonder of Africa. And the question we need to ask ourselves is, have we achieved that mandate? Have we even come near to that mandate? And the answer is no, we don't. So, first of all, I want to commend the DG, Dr. Owe, for what he has been able to do. Because before he came in, PRODA was completely nebulous. He had no focus. He was bogged down by inter-management disputes. So he's been able to give it direction. I'm also happy that we have here members of the National Assembly and their representatives. We have here also the administrative head of the ministry. Because the problem we have is that we do not prioritize around research and development. And we have every reason to prioritize this. Because the entire African nations in 2006 agreed, which was signed. They had a signed agreement that they would deploy 1% of the total GDP to funding R&D. It's very important for us to know that all the countries that have succeeded in this world have budgetary provisions between 2.5% to 3% of their GDP to research and development. If you go through the United States budget, it's compulsory that 3% of the total GDP must be budgeted for research and development. That's why today they are leading in scientific and technological development. The same thing in China, the same thing in Japan, the same thing in Israel. It's very sad that African countries who resolved to commit 1% of their GDP to R&D, none has been able to achieve that. Only Egypt has come close to it. Egypt, in a study conducted by United Nations Economic Summit, we gave a data that Egypt, within the year 2020 and 2022, was able to dedicate 0.91% of its budget to R&D. Do you know what Nigeria, under the same study, Nigeria percentage is 0.013. So I hope our representatives in the National Assembly will critically look for these documents where we committed ourselves to an international continental treaty to advance, because without R&D there can be no industrialization. Without R&D there can be no industrialization. So I commend PRODA for what they have done, but I want to appeal to PRODA. Like I said, that progenitor addressed existential threats to the people, one of which was military threats. So they replied in production of armaments. Another was threats of starvation. They replied by producing agro-allied processes. What is Nigeria facing today? Nigeria is facing the same existential threat we faced as a people 40 years ago. Nigeria is facing starvation. Nigeria is facing inability to feed its citizenry. So I wish to appeal to PRODA to focus on developing R&D that can process and preserve our raw materials for industrial usage. There is a missing link in the entire third world countries, and this missing link is the result of our poverty. This missing link is the result of our lack of industrialization. This missing link is the result why we have militarization, we have militancy, we have insecurity all over the place. What is this missing link? We have not developed our scientific technology to process and preserve our agro-allied sector. As long as we do not do this, we will not move forward. When the United States came together as a nation, the first thing they saw was the food problem, because they knew that food security was aligned and attached to national security. The same thing in China, the same thing in Israel. Whether there is the advancement in robotics, whether there is advancement in digitalization, whether there is the advancement in the area of biotechnology, there will always be food and there will always be hunger. It is very regrettable that 200 years ago, our country was colonized in order to supply palm produce to colonial powers. Today, 200 years after, we are still supplying palm produce to Western countries to develop their industries, to process their agro-allied industries. It is regrettable that even the First Republic that we have so much, that is like a reference point to what we have today, never developed our agro-allied sector. What they did was to boost the production of raw materials for export. That's why when we talk of Western language, we talk of cocoa. What was cocoa being used for? To produce, to supply raw materials to industries in the West. They tell you about groundnut pyramids. So what the challenge before you, before all of you in PRODA, is providing that missing link. Begin to move your R&D to develop agro-allied industrialization. Once we develop our agro-allied industry and provide that missing link, we'll have enough jobs and it will be the first stage for industrialization. Because we have comparative advantage in this field. Anything about development is that you go where you have comparative advantage. We have comparative advantage of availability of raw materials, but the raw materials are not being processed for industrial usage. If we can only but process our raw materials to industrial usage, our economy will leapfrog 10 times. That is the secret of Malaysia. That is what India is doing today. That is what Israel did. That is what China did. So my brothers and sisters and the great minds we have here from PRODA, I don't want to read my prepared speech. It's just technical. Let me go to the point so that we can begin to solve our problem. So all these things you have here, the ceramics, they do not solve our existential problem. What will solve our existential problem is how we can develop our life. And I was hoping that some of our senators will be here, but I'm happy they are able representatives, their charities here, and to take my message back to the chairman. Some of my friends in the Senate, I've engaged them on this. I'm sure the commissioner for STI is here. Some of the governors who are my friends, must engage them in this. We can no longer continue. I'm very happy what he said they are doing. We cannot continue to allocate funds for constituency projects that have no set plans, that have no meaning, that have no connection to the mandate of the agencies. If you are going to allocate constituency project, please, my sisters and brothers, and the honorable here and the student senators, let us allocate constituency projects that have relevance to the mandate of the agency. For example, are you clapping for me? Clap now. So I want to come out. I won't be afraid. But you know, when you talk to our distinguished brothers, you have to be careful so that I will not have the repeat treatment. So if you clap for me, I will not have protection. Can I move on? So what I'm saying, in fact, is constituency projects should be tagged to the mandate of the agency. So if you want constituency project, you want to fund me 20 billion in PRODA, let it be tagged to around D. Let it be tagged to pilot projects. We are lucky. We have a minister who has come from the business sector, who is looking at the business aspect of all the industrial findings, all the research findings we have here. He has said, I'm sure Barr said I'm speaking correctly. He said the emphasis now will be on building pilot projects to turn the research findings into marketplace ideas. And this, I think, should be our emphasis. What do you think? Today, all of us are seeing the money people are making from the internet. But don't forget, the internet was a research finding of the United States military. The WWW was those who are making money from it are not even the people who were able to innovate it. But they turned it into a marketplace business. So my DG and all DGs here, it's very pertinent that you also open a business development unit. I'm happy the person is here. I might give you consultancy in developing that. Because if you look at my resume, we say I'm a lot of businesses. So I can help you. You have to develop a business development unit. Now you need to look at the business angle of the research, not the benefits of having research findings that are not making money for the country. That's where the minister's policy of pilot projects comes. And I'm also appealing that the National Assembly will also key into this, so that what we have as constituency projects becomes pilot projects. For example, let's take for example the issue of the stove, the briquette stove we talked about. The briquette stove can become a pilot project in a constituency to produce 50,000 pieces of briquette stove. And it becomes useful to what we are doing. And we said with preservation and processing plants. Then we need to set up preservation, mini preservation, processing, allied plants all over the place. So finally, I want to thank you. I'm not going to take much of your time, but I am impressed by what you have here. For the future, we need to be very smart about the future. When we talk about the business development unit, it's not just a standalone business development unit. You need to have a campus, the business. I mean, we can't just be surviving on grants. I'm very suspicious of grants. Because when grants come to talk of, I've been in government, I was a commissioner at the age of 25 years. I've been in the state executive from when I was 25. And I noticed that every grant that came, 80% went back to the country that it was back. So when we look at grants, when you bring grants, they tell you what they want to start grants. At the end of the grants, people are industrialization. Every country that has been able to industrialize took their future in their own hands. That's what we have to do. You also need to align with the business community. There's a lot of companies that are looking for this research findings, commercialize it, and make money. We get a proper business development to help you. Because all of you are scientific experts. All of you are experts. You don't know how to turn nine and opposite. You don't know how to research from future to science. So I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity to share my mind, my opinion of what I think, and I can tell you that a renewed hope agenda is on. And even though we are going through very hard times, but I can tell you that there is future. Because if there's no hard times, there's no future. Thank you very much.